close.
I was incredibly impressed by their early game, especially just because they were able to seed so little. And really, I think Rhino was the breakout star from that game. They were really, really good in those bot lane engages, but even more so in the team fights, often getting multi-man taunts, tons of knockups, and rotating around with the team when the team fights moved across the map. So I think shout out to them. I would not be surprised to see a Galio ban.
SolaFide are the team that needs to prove something, both in general and especially in this game. They are a team of veterans who frankly shouldn't be here. At least that was what we said at the start of the season, and as it has gone on, they dropped out to Barrage. Now they're here, dropping out of the draft. They can't stay in anything, Matt.
Yeah, this is really a team of LCS veterans through and through, pretty much. Apollo, Zazel have both been on LCS main rosters, and the rest of them have been around Academy as well. So this is what you'd think of as really the powerhouse roster of amateur.
Baby.
But that has not been the case, especially today. Zeus Gaming are showing that they are doing a fantastic job of proving that it's not all about experience. It's not all about having the all-powerful LCS players on your team.
We do get ourselves an Olaf and a Twisted Fate in the first ban phase here for Zeus. They're not concerned with the more powerful carries that we did see banned out by SolaFide during game number 1. That Kai'Sa, for instance, still on the list. SolaFide, with one more ban, will get rid of Lilia, and that means Kai'Sa is a priority pick here in game number 2.
I honestly would not be surprised to see Zeus. Yeah, they locked in the Senna. I'm not super shocked by this because Raheen is not a great hyper carry, hard carry, AD carry player.
Yeah. So here, Starvation Senna makes sense for Raheen. Raheen likes to play a little bit more passive, likes to be a safe choice in lane. Pocket Rhino, after that performance, is saying, give it to me again. Give me another carry support. I'll do it again. But here's my worry. SolaFide are just looking to put Kai'Sa on Apollo, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
And if there was a problem with game 1, it was that their main win condition normally is Apollo stepping up to carry team fights, and they never got there. The Starvation Senna never got to a point where they could be a carry. So here in game 2, I'm worried that maybe they're going to get some like the Kai'Sa and be able to just blow out the bottom lane into a slower start Senna lane.
Well, I'm not even sure how much of it was the pick last game, to be fair, because there was such great map movement out from Zeus Gaming to shut down the bot lane from minute 1. So I wouldn't rule that performance out as a repeat. Meanwhile, though, Zeus Gaming have picked up RBM's or Graves for RBM, which is denying it away from Winston, which means he's back on the pony. Still not this time. I'm not feeling great about it, TJ.
I'm feeling real good about this Ezreal though. This is a really good Ezreal lane. You also do have Graves Azir locked in. Like you said, I'm not feeling great about Winston's Hecarim. I am feeling pretty good for Zeus Gaming about both the Azir and the Graves. The Azir in Darkling's hands will enable even more direct team fighting, and the Graves kind of offers that secondary sustained damage, which they are missing because of this Senna. Now, what's left, though, is I think Alorum needs to be on tank duty again, and I'm not entirely sure where it comes from, if we just see the Malphite again, or if we see something different. You can see there's already a ban out towards the Camille, so they're definitely going in that direction. SolaFide respond by taking away the Ornn, which is the most obvious of the tank duty top laners Alorum could be pulling out.
I'm interested to see what Zeus Gaming are prioritizing as they go into this next rotation. Support is still open, as is top lane for SolaFide, so they could squeeze further into Dokla's champion pool, and it looks like that's exactly what they're doing. So they really want Alarim to have a fantastic pick.
We do get rid of Gnar, as you say. Dokla limited. Dokla previously has been a weak point for SolaFide, occasionally blown out of lane in spectacular fashion. Last game, there weren't enough resources thrown topside for that to even be a threat. Zeus Gaming weren't at all interested in getting Alorum ahead. They left Alorum on an island to do his own thing, played through the bottom side of their map, and the devastating lead they earned through team fighting there. Here, it's a Gragas picked up. Maybe top side. And a Wukong. Okay, that makes more sense.
They're just flexing Alorum's champ pool here.
This is what we've seen already in Cup. The only Urgot win to ever grace Cup as a tournament series was played earlier. It was, of course, Alorum playing the top side. You can see it there. It's the one of two. That's what this is. Alorum played top side. It was 2 days ago, I think. No, 1 day ago. And it was real scary.
Yeah, Alorum is really good on the champion. Goes for a unique Q-Max build in some matchups as well. So
Smacks for that.
Yeah, Smacks, much to Smacks' chagrin. But I'd like to see what Alorum's able to pull out on this champion, because it's something we really don't see and haven't seen for a long time. I like what SolaFide is putting down, though. Nico pick up.
Show me. Okay.
Nico?
So the Gragas can go anywhere, the Nico can go anywhere. This is wild. But I would assume that this is Gragas support, which it does appear to be. And that means this is indeed top Nico, apparently.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so SolaFide really love their flex drafts, as we're seeing here. This entire draft just got turned on its head. Nico, the last time I saw her in the top lane was back when on-hit Nico was actually good, because her W was so great at shredding tanks. I'm interested to see whether it's going to be full AP Nico or if it's going to be that on-hit build in the top lane. But either way, I'm excited for it. She has such great team fighting potential, and as a combination, SolaFide, once again, have a fantastic team fight coming out just from their composition alone.
But Zeus Gaming, 2 games in a row, are taking it to SolaFide. They're saying we can win these team fights, and it doesn't even necessarily need to be through Alorum. It was Malphite last game, it's still tank duty. It is admittedly the Urgot, so he will have more damage, but you can still expect the carry to be from Azir in the mid lane. You can still expect the Graves to be critical in building that. And we're going to see another stunning performance, I assume, from down bottom where Rhino is taken to the field. It is time for game number 2. SolaFide down 1, looking to secure their place here in the upper bracket, the winner's slots at Cup. If you win this, if either team wins this series, they do not need to play any more of the Swiss phase. Did you know that? Like, you just go home for the rest of the week.
That's sick. They get some time off. See, this is why Challengers Uprising is so kind, because they give players time off within the season.
Admittedly, the season is like 2 weeks. We're speed running. Challengers Uprising, the only season that you can fit in a snack.
Sure.
It's a tournament in a can. A Red Bull
in a
can.
cup, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, I was trying to make us some money, but if you want to just have a dumb pun instead.
I feel like we could sell cups. I feel like we really should sell cups.
That's what that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Game number 2. Zeus Gaming, of course, won game 1 through their bottom lane, it must be said. Wasn't a terribly stunning performance from Raheen. He's more of a supportive AD carry, which doesn't feel like something you can get away with this season, but Raheen does it. Just stays safe, does sustain damage in team fights, doesn't take huge risks. Pocket Rhino was unabashedly the major force in that bottom lane. Won't be playing Starvation Senna down there. This is going to be Farm Senna. Support Gallia, nothing fancy.
Yeah, I think it's worth noting, though, that despite Pocket Rhino's breakout performance in the bottom lane, Raheen did great. 0-0-7, I think, was their final scoreline. Yep. Sure, not getting a ton of kills, but never dying and always contributing to the fights is fantastic.
Like I said, a little bit more supportive, but you can absolutely do that. That is still very valuable to a team, to have somebody who's just dealing damage in team fights and not taking risks. Speaking of, that's what Tuesday is going to be looking to do in this game. Tuesday was a little bit silent during game number 1. Didn't feel like we got anything out of him. Oh dear lord. How many votes is that?
At least 2,
Producer
TJ.
Joe. Well, yeah. How many votes is it to tie us at 50-50, Producer Joe?
We'll wait for them. We'll figure it out. I would like to point out, once again, we have the Soul Tracker. Raheen at 3.
44. And it still comes out dead even. That's pretty sick.
The votes, not the souls.
Good clarification.
Thanks, TJ. See,
The
it's
other
so much
big
easier
shift
for me than you.
Yeah, the other big shift was the top line, where Dokla and Delorum are playing into each other on spectacular champions. So far, it's real rough for Delorum.
It's attack speed Nico. I'm really excited. I'm really excited.
That's sick.
I love on hit Nico. It's so funny. She just zaps people. Huge engage down bot. Will be shut down. Pocket Rhino has blown the flash though. They really want this blue.
Yeah, Zazel seems willing to fight for it as well, which is a mistake. RBM will scar him over the wall. And as a result, that will be a successful invade. Winston not able to vertical jungle or anything, I believe. So this is going to be just a little bit of extra early gold over to Zeus as RBM continues to bully Winston in that jungle matchup.
That's really good. RBM with a really good game sense to know that that blue buff was available and that Winston wasn't going to be able to respond with anything other than, of course, the second Scuttle Crab, but that's going to be fine. Triple buffing someone and losing a crab for it is a great engage, especially when you already secured the crab across the map. We'll also lose a Gromp, it looks like.
Zazel scared back. Down in the bottom side, things are going better for Raheen than they did for Apollo last game on the Senna. Possibly just because there's more goals being passed over. A little bit scarier of a Senna. It's a ghost, Allura.
It's spooky, run! Throw some salt at it.
First Drake of the game was a real important team fight during game number 1. It didn't really break into a team fight, but it was SolaFide very cleanly establishing what they wanted to do and then failing at it. Here in game 2, I think it's very important that both these team fight teams survive without disaster. So what that means is maybe we see a lot of action, but neither team's really benefiting from early game. So I would say this Drake's going to sit up on the bottom side of the map for a while. The only way it would matter is if there is a big team fight and we get an early win.
Sorry, TJ, I was distracted by how hard this top lane AD Nico is slapping.
It sure do be, man. Zazel in trouble down bottom. Rhino will find the stun, but oh dear lord, that's a lot of damage. Flash forward, and Apollo has the kill. Raheen now trying to trade even, and you can't do that. It could be 2 down here until Raheen blows their own flash just to stay alive. And here is Winston.
Coming in from the side.
TP.
I really don't like that teleport now from Zeus because Darkwings is stuck behind the tower here. Has ultimate available if he wants to knock someone back. He does, knocking Winston back towards the blue side. But Winston is one speedy pony, forcing the flash from RBM. Darkwings barely surviving. Apollo finally takes him down. No heal available. Good body blocking by Zazel, but it won't be enough. Body slams away to safety. A 2 for 3 overall, I believe.
Yeah, check this out. So, starts real simple. Pocket Rhino thinks he can win this auto attack fight. And oh boy howdy, as you would say, Matt, is he wrong? Raheen gets scared out behind the turret. They ring up Winston on the horse phone. And he cleans this up. And this is where Darkwing starts to realize he's made a mistake. Still, almost turns it around because there's no mana up on their Gragas. So there's no real way to contest this fight. And Winston goes down to a deep dive. RBM managing to punch above their weight class. Apollo going huge in response.
Yeah, Apollo has a really good start to this game in stark contrast to the first game because he was already like 0-3 by this point and he's 3-1 already. Going for that Essence Reaver build now, which is basically the same as the old Divine Sunder Muramana build, but it gets to its power spike faster and it spams out just as many Qs. So a really strong build to snowball with, especially. RBM, in response, will pick up the Drake, though, in a strange echo of Game 1's plays.
Think that's worth noting. Okay, so RBM, real far ahead now, really scary in the jungle. That is part of what propelled Zeus Gaming to a dominant Game 1 victory. What didn't happen, the other part of what propelled Zeus Gaming to a dominant Game 1 victory, was that Apollo was completely non-existent. It was nighttime, there was no chariot of fire. This time, I don't know, there's a movie reference in there somewhere. Run on the beach because the chariots of fire are here.
There you go.
Apollo is, in fact, playing very well in the bot lane, is, in fact, off to a fantastic start. And if Apollo can be the mid-game carry that he wasn't during Game 1, oh boy!
Huge! The engage is out. Raheen is going to be down in just a second. Ignite tick, not going to be enough, but Apollo finds it nonetheless. 4-1 on this Ezreal.
This is exactly what I was just saying. If Apollo can be the carry he wasn't during Game 1, then SolaFide will still be a teamfight threat. And that is what was absent. It's also worth noting, Alorum isn't going to be able to show up and have quite as much impact from the top side. Because they're getting slapped around by the frog lady.
Hell yeah, Nico. Live your best life. And that's an important point, though, because the strength of Urgot is that into traditional melee top laners, he's kind of just better. Like, he can technically harass from range, and he can really scrap in melee as well. But the problem is, as soon as you put him into a ranged top laner, it shows how much of a melee he is, basically. Because this Nico is just going to absolutely decimate, as we're seeing, even without the base AP, just being able to poke Alorum under the tower from just raw auto attacks.
Raw auto attacks, man.
Organic auto attacks.
Free range auto attacks.
Uh-oh. RBM's here.
He sure is.
He's gone now.
He sure is.
Alright. That was that, gang.
Reptarald will be summoned up on the top side. That's a little more dramatic. As SolaFide are under pressure down bottom, there will be a response up top. Turret is gone. First turret of the game. Picked up by SolaFide. Cask. Oh, what a combo!
What a beautiful combo. Knocking him directly under the tower. Poor Raheen. Now Rhino being chased away. Well, at least his support item upgraded.
This is exactly what Apollo wasn't during Game 1 and exactly what we promised Apollo would be. 5-1 at the 10-minute mark. And it is real hard to see Zeus Gaming winning team fights from here on because all of the team fight threats on SolaFide are doing quite well. That Orianna in mid lane is going to be a little longer in the microwave, but you have Dokla up top, going to be real scary. And Apollo, devastating if you let him start chucking spells.
Yeah, even the poke onto the Galio is huge. Poor Rhino, just trying to take down that pink ward. RBM caught on a pink ward of his own. Will be able to find his way out of the jungle before long. Zazel goes to replace the vision.
Check out the big lad walking through the jungle.
He really waddles.
Really happy to see him.
His run animation is really funny. I saw a comparison the other day. They changed it recently to be like bouncier from side to side. And the Gragas mains were complaining, but I think they're just wrong. Yeah. Absolutely objectively better.
Well, I think with animation, and this is something you think about when you're doing acting as well, like bigger is better, otherwise you don't spot it. Yeah. Speaking of not spotting things.
Okay, able to take the taunt, that's good. The root comes out as well, and it looks like a ton of damage onto Zazel. But here comes Winston and a TP to answer. Rhino in trouble. TP of their own coming on the side of Zeus Gaming. RBM still alive. Apollo dives in. No longer has his jump. Raheen defensive under the tower. And that will be the fight disengaged. But Infernal Drake up in just 10 seconds.
They hit the pause button on the TiVo about that. We're about to see take two. Here comes Dokla around the side. And we're into a reap. Joe! Are you sure?
Something happened mid, apparently, TJ.
Shockwave did happen here from Tuesday. Dark Wings was shut down during that time. Nicely done. And apparently nothing more happened down bottom. Producer Joe, as always, checking his crystal ball. SolaFide do dominate across the map here, as we promised they would coming into the mid game, and now they're looking for another pickup.
Zazel goes in for the engage. The ultimate coming out. Hero's Entrance finds the knockup. Raheen still alive somehow, but not for much longer, as Pocket Rhino is taken down under the tower. Eventually.
He's so clean, man.
He really is.
Or the Justice Punch to dodge the AoE from the Pop Blossom and then get right back in.
Yeah, Pocket Rhino is like really ridiculously good at this Galio. It's a shame the lane is going so poorly.
No, it's a shame that he's losing his turret, isn't it? This would be the second turret down for Zeus Gaming, as SolaFide are determined to hit back hard during Game 2. They are attempting to get some extra gold onto RBM, as well as a turret onto Alorum during this time. But his minion wave's gone.
Hey, he's getting plates. Let him be.
I mean,
almost got a third plate. Sure, they lost the tower, but oh, turret plating's down. Never mind. Sad times were had by all.
And this looks kind of rough for Zeus Gaming. Driving us to a Game 3 would be real exciting. It does feel like Apollo and SolaFide got the better side of the draft during Game 2, and perhaps the worst side of it during Game 1. This looks more collected, more built towards their strengths, that strength being named Apollo. Game 1, not only did they not draft especially good for their strength during the early game, but also Apollo got instantly shattered in lane. The combination of which led to just a rather absent carry over on SolaFide.
And I think this is kind of the worst AD carry for Zeus Gaming to have to deal with. Because Ezreal is so slippery and their composition doesn't have a ton of ways to knock him down, the only way you can get a positive CC chain going on Apollo is if Rhino somehow lands a taunt, but that's like melee range.
This is what I was going to say. When it got drafted, I was like, wow, that's really good, because Galio doesn't do anything to Ezreal. Trust me, I've played the matchup. Support Galio has a bad time, capital B,
that's really
into Ezreal.
And now Ezreal should just be able to run away with the game. That's why I really think Zeus Gaming's chances are bad, but they have surprised me before. So I'm going to hold out hope for at least until this next Drake fight before I call it as completely over. Because if they get completely smashed there, as I suspect they will. Oh, Raheen.
True shot? That is so good!
Very good.
Up with the true shot.
Oh!
Raheen just backs away. Just come at me, mate. Playing behind the turret, drops the Dawning Shadow, gets the kill. Goodbye, Winston. It does not matter if Apollo's hitting his shots.
That's one way to recover your lane. Just go for the jungler who's diving you and just kill him point blank with a giant gun.
That is a very figurative description of what happened, man. Really heads up playing from Raheen as well. He had to burn his flash to do it, but I think you take it any day of the week.
How the horse races do it.
Turret will go down there in the mid lane. So still an overall victory for SolaFide, but you take every small win for Zeus because get you a little more gold.
All right. This is so clean from both sides.
Oh.
The True Shot Barrage lands.
Nice.
Winston thinks he has this. The heal comes out from Raheen. But Raheen just has the most powerful energy in the video game. Oh.
And then the ult to shield himself.
And to pick up the soul for style points.
Genuinely fantastic stuff. Winston will try and recover his bruised ego here at the Rift Herald.
For Winston, I wouldn't be so bruised. Like, I'm just winning the game. I'm just vibing on this pony here. I would say the time to worry is in about 30 seconds, though. Like, sure, Raheen showed some great plays there, but Apollo's 2 items, Raheen is 1.
Yeah, and that really could just decide the fight. It is Duskblade on Apollo. Cracking the Slayer over here for the Senna as we do head towards the Ocean Drake you were talking of. What you meant there by the 30-second mark is the 10-second mark now. As full control of this Drake is in SolaFide's pocket. They have wards everywhere. Zeus don't need to contest it, and as I touched on with the first Drake of the game, this is the kind of team composition game where you don't want to go for fights you don't win, because both teams will really snowball if they start getting kills and the gold from those kills in their pockets. So this is the right call. Let him take the Drake. You have one. It's not strictly necessary to contest every Drake, at least until Soul is threatened. Dark Wings gets a turret in the meantime.
I just think that the later this game gets, the more suspect it looks until you hit the hyper late game. Because sure, Senna will eventually scale into being an incredibly powerful AD carry, but that's going to take a lot of souls. 40 is good, but it will not cut it. Lorum's going to fall off, but Azir will come up. So there's a chance this is recovered, but as Tuesday's just soloing Alorum under the tower, it's looking less and less likely.
More like a Borum.
Dokla.
Oh, he denies it!
Not able to find the Pop Blossom. Or the red buff! Dark Wings, that was rude.
And he gets away! Apollo can do nothing but watch as Dark Wings is able to take Tuesday into an alley and rob him blind.
No.
Oh, they're cutting him off.
Something's gonna happen here.
Stop, this is the police, says Zazel. And they cannot stop him. He's aware of what's coming. Darkwing's recalling in the tri-bush. I think he'll get away with this.
Winston might find him. No, will not. Cool. Good work there by Darkwings. Buff for buff trade, I suppose, but nearly found the mid laner's life.
Plus EB.
Yeah, I guess denying both buffs to Apollo by proxy is pretty good.
Also, denying both buffs to RBM, but, you know.
But you know what? It happens.
Things happen. Your Graves is pulling their weight. Oh, do it.
No.
Okay.
Oh.
It's just this, it was just souls.
RBM getting red buff. All right.
If we're looking for team fight heroes for Zeus, it is, you know, we're talking hyper scaling into the late game, and it is the Azir. It is maybe the Urgot. I have been told this Urgot gets real scary if we get real late. Alorum hasn't died yet, so maybe we're getting somewhere there. And of course, Rahim. Should be noted, the bot lane failure is having a noted effect on Pocket Rhino as well. You will note he is not even on his first item. This happens to support Galio if you fall behind, because it's really rough for support Galio to be able to activate Relic Shield. And if you fall behind, then you don't have any HP, so you can't step up to activate Relic Shield, because you just get burst. And so it continues ad infinitum.
RBM was really struggling to get over that wall, and I relate to that very heavily. And then he flashed the TFT ranked gold emote, and I related to that very heavily. So I just feel for RBM today. That's what I'm saying.
RBM didn't struggle to get over that wall. He used Flash. I saw it. It's just fine.
Yeah, after collateral damage and quick draw.
Rahim and Co setting up for this play here. I think Winston knows what's up. No! Winston does not know what's up.
No!
Will you be able to get over the wall? The ultimate keeps him safe. Full dive in.
Hero's entrance into the backline. RBM in the front line trying to do as much damage as possible. Apollo flashes over the wall and will get CC'd here. Apollo shut down in the bottom side of the fight. And now Dokla getting chased away. The triple for Alorum. Urgot, the crab god Alorum finds a quadra kill.
Behold your savior! Alorum arrives in the backlines and just turns this game on its head! He finds the first kill with ulti, chains it into a 3-man fear, and wins the entire team fight thereafter! That was a 1v3, no questions asked!
So I was really worried when this started off because the Onslaught of Shadows gets Winston out right away, and then Tuesday comes in with a beautiful shockwave. But it's from here that things really start to turn, because Apollo gets too big for his britches and flashes over the wall into 4. Immediate CC combo. And then Alorum at the top just destroys them one by one by one.
That is genuinely the grossest thing I have ever seen at Challengers Uprising. And I look at Matt's face every time we start a game.
Hey!
I'm sorry. Allura setting up on the flank again, almost spotted another Allura angle. May have spotted another Allura angle. Scaring back Dokla real fast. Here is the Drake. 2 seconds on it. Zeus Gaming would really like to get on the board.
RBM and Raheem need to find their way around the side of the Drake if they want to fight this. So there is a time limit here. They have found their way into the fight, so this could become another 5v5. Rhino clearing out the vision as best they can. They've started up the Drake. Looks like there will be a contest from SolaFide eventually.
There will not.
No.
Status report, Allura. Nobody gets close to that Drake.
He is so terrifying. I have never seen an Urgot this terrifying.
It is genuinely stunning. That has tied up the kills, that has tied up the gold. We are 42k both ways, 9 kills both ways, 2 Drakes both ways. We have gone from a game that is all SolaFide to a game that they are going to have to fight to win.
This is just beautiful. This is beautiful from Zeus Gaming. They bided their time as bid. The entire game.
They bid their time.
Until they could find that fight around the Baron. And immediately they just burst the game wide open. They've brought themselves back to an even gold lead from a super lost and frankly doomed bottom lane. Meanwhile, Shockwave on a Dark Wings. The fight's breaking out in earnest here, TJ.
True shot short. Winston hovering on the flank, looking for an opportunity to go in. Zeus back away.
That was a little anticlimactic. Come on, guys, you've got this.
Well, the fact that Zeus aren't getting anything done with their Baron is significant.
But they've brought the gold back even. Like, that's the big thing for me that makes me feel like this is back in their control, at least vaguely. Because before they were down several thousand just off the bot lane alone, but they've now found a way to kill Apollo. Yeah, he had to overcommit for it, but they have killed God. And from there, they want to make Nietzsche proud.
Sorry, I'm just processing the depth of your literary knowledge here. You have surprised me yet again.
So it's really funny, TJ, because you were mentioning Chariot of Fire, I think it was, and I was like, yeah, all those classic films that use it, like Madagascar, the animated DreamWorks film.
Really? Is it?
It's the only one I can think of.
I've legitimately never used or never seen Madagascar.
It's like not great.
No, it's a DreamWorks movie. They have like 2 good movies.
Like Shark Tale?
No, no.
It's a masterpiece. Who doesn't want an Al Pacino shark?
Pressure on the sidelines as Zeus Gaming reset to just split push 1-3-1 status. SolaFide happy to catch those waves. We've arrived. We really are in a late game where it is anyone's game.
Where's Winston? Episode 3.
Oh, it's Chariots of Fire. I don't think it's going to take you too long to get to the good bit, Producer Joe. Yeah, it's going to be such a long intro, you need to skip forward next time.
It's beautiful.
Apollo will be threatening here on the front lines as Zeus begins to set things up. They don't have a Baron buff anymore. You can see Winston lurking in the bush, daring Zeus to overstep, but they are very aware of that potential failure, and they organize a group reset. Why? 50 seconds on the Baron, minute 30 on the Drake.
And they know at this point that their only way to stay in this game is basically bait Apollo into making a mistake again. Like, you cannot take a fight in which you do not have a solution for Apollo. And that was the danger before, but the solution was Apollo just slightly overcommits. That was their solution the first time. This time they need to be even more careful about their engages, unless they want to wait until something like Soul Point, or wait until another Baron. I guess it would be third Baron at this point. But I suspect they're going to have to fight much sooner than that, and I don't know how they're going to find another lockdown onto Apollo because their lockdown is so short range. It is worth noting, though, Raheen has massive range off those 70 souls he's picked up.
Zoning will come out here in mid. I think the other thing that we need to watch out for is what on earth shuts down Alorum at this point.
Apollo, I guess. That really does feel like the dichotomy of the team fight. You either kill Alorum or Apollo, and that decides the fight.
Winston in trouble. Dokla split. Root does not land.
Heart-pounding posturing in the mid lane as Zeyzal looks for an engage, as does Alorum. Dokla around the side.
We'll find an opportunity, but Alorum stays ahead, and they are so scared of him. And that's the signal for Zeus to start heading towards this Baron. Oh, dive in!
Take down Dokla. There it is. Rhino looking for the taunt. Not going to be able to find it onto Apollo. That's a problem. RBM trying to go in. Shockwave. Oh. Apollo does so much damage. Takes down one. Here's the hero's entrance, but I don't think it'll be enough. Alorum comes in. Carry versus carry. CC Train goes down onto Apollo at the top side of the fight, but Alorum down at the bottom, putting out as much DPS as possible, but has yet to secure a kill. Raheen goes golden. Pop Blossom in for the CC. Alorum about to pop in a GA, but not yet. Apollo dives forward, finds Raheen, and that will signal the end of the fight.
And narrowly, a victory for SolaFide. What can they do with it? Maybe this Blue Drake, it looks like. Apollo will land a ton of damage right at the start of the fight. That's how Raheen got low. It was a truly massive true shot. And the shockwave to follow up right behind his damage. Apollo absolutely chunking people is the reason this fight goes so well. By the time Alorum arrives, it is all but over. A little bit messy for SolaFide, but they're able to pull it out with good teamfight comms despite the rough positioning. Dokla well in sync, able to bail Tuesday out, and then he and Apollo just work the front lines.
It really just is. Every time you see Apollo throw a Q, someone loses a third of their health. Even that E over the wall. It's because of the Duskblade Essence Reaver combo, it just does so much ridiculous burst that you can afford to play these fights a little bit slower because eventually you will just whittle down Zeus Gaming. The only one you can't really whittle down like that is Alorum, as we saw, but even he popped. Or no, it was avoided narrowly.
Yeah, Alorum has not died yet.
It's like 20 HP.
Oh, Dokla.
Yeah, Dokla's in
just
trouble
have roots. Alorum will be close on, does miss the Fear Beyond Death, but that won't matter. Alorum gets his 5th kill of the game. SolaFide need to hit back now before Alorum starts pressing side lane, and that will just hand over the Baron. They did pick up the Ocean Drake a moment ago, so they are on Soul Point. That's worth noting. And there's Alorum in the side lane, just pressing in.
Zeyzal's getting poked out something fierce here, especially for this tanky Gragas. When you build him as a support, the problem is that you just can't get enough gold to make him a beefy engager, and that's really what you need him for with his current role in the team fight. But instead, he's just kind of like a cask one body slam a fight bot.
Yeah. Which is a little bit rough for Zeyzal, who would like to be able to do more, would like to be able to be a damage threat here.
God,
they never send anyone back to deal with Alorum. They just called that bluff. Dokla will respawn now and will deal with that sideline. Dokla does have a TP, can arrive in this fight.
Was able to pick up at least one tower though, so Alorum gets an objective and a kill for free essentially. So that is worth it. Has picked up the Black Cleaver as well. So sitting on a nearly completed item build, this is probably the strongest Alorum gets, but I am admittedly no Urgot expert.
Now, remember when I was like, I don't know what this Urgot's going to do in the late game, but I hear it's good. Remember when I said that?
Well, let's check. This sure is late game. And Dokla sure is getting run down.
What do you do?
You die, TJ. You don't try and 1v1 the Urgot as a Nico with no escape mechanism.
He just destroys him. Dokla was like, what if I just woke up, press a button, and see what happens? And he just got one shot.
He found out, TJ. Really bad.
You don't press buttons near Alorum. Dokla 25 seconds out. Does have the TP, so I don't think they're quite comfortable going for Baron with that. SolaFide do need to send somebody back to save that inhibitor, though. They are sending Tuesday. Tuesday does have a TP soon. It won't be up in time to stop this Baron, though. There's Tuesday trying to save the inhib. Oh. Alorum does have a TP to join this fight if it gets messy. Apollo still wins proper 5-on-5s for SolaFide, and that is why Alorum and the rest of Zeus Gaming are studiously avoiding them.
And Alorum is just finding fight after fight after fight in this bottom lane.
Oh, he's daring them. Look, he's just sitting in that bush waiting for someone to walk up.
And Dokla will. I want to see if Alorum stops the back. He does.
He does. He's looking for blood. The Predator senses its
18.
prey.
That's gross.
Well, Dokla steps too far forward again. Alorum clears out the way.
Send the W into the bush. Smelled that one from a mile away.
I think that was what happened the first time. We didn't get a full replay on it, but I think that's how that fight started. Oh, he is so still hunting. Dokla has learned his lesson, by the way.
Drake in a minute.
Drake in a minute.
Will finally have something he can fight around after his split push.
Well, I don't think... I'm not sure Zeus win a 5v5. That's the big thing. Right, because Apollo still absolutely chunks even Alorum. Here we go. Tuesday and Dokla via Alorum. Place your bets.
Alorum flashed, so I think all bets are null at this point.
No, Alorum got out real quick. Didn't want to mess around.
Yeah, which is admittedly the smart play. But to your point, I think that really is the trouble of these fights for Zeus Gaming, and we've been talking about it the whole game. It's just if Apollo doesn't mess up, the fight never ends. Well, it does. Zeus Gaming just dies.
Yeah. Here we go.
Stride Breaker popped. And
back in reset from Alorum. He has GA now, by the way, so keep your eye on that. They're rushing Baron. SolaFide is saying we don't need to fight over the Drake. They do, otherwise we get Soul. And they rush Baron. That true shot will give away the game. I don't know if they kill this fast enough.
They do.
Looks like they do, because Zeus aren't interested in contesting again. They probably lose 5v5, so they have no interest in taking one for Baron.
I think they were well aware that that was going to be the outcome if they went for the Drake. Like, there's no way you don't know. Oh gosh, Baron's up. We're at Dragon. They're not here. Oh golly, where are they?
Yeah, I mean, the actual answer is probably just Alorum is quite all right with the status quo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if we can just get back to the business of Alorum pushing in side lanes and forcing Zeus Gaming to give him 1v1s, or forcing SolaFide to give him 1v1s, I think Zeus Gaming are quite pleased with that.
And that sort of negates the advantage of the Baron, because we saw Zeus Gaming fail to get a whole lot with their Baron as well. But if Alorum keeps rotating the lanes where people aren't and just shoving them all the way to tower, there's only so much that Baron buff can do for SolaFide.
Hey Matt, I'm checking the category of this game, if you're curious. It is and I'm checking my notes, 35-minute banger.
I didn't even realize. Time flies when you're having fun, TJ.
Zeus Gaming are still one win away from closing this series. They're still one win away from being the top-ranked team in our Swiss bracket here.
So the good news for all you Zeus Gaming fans at home is Apollo can only get so many items. He's working on his 6 right now, but after that, he doesn't get any stronger. And that sounds like I'm being sarcastic and snarky, and don't get me wrong, I absolutely am. But it is a valid analytical point, because once you get to that point, Raheen can come back. Raheen scales harder. Uh-oh.
Do they spot Rhino in trouble? Alorum's around the corner. I don't think they were ready for that. They will catch him out. Alorum rooted.
Here's
heroic entrance. Dawning Shadow to try and bail him out. Stazel will go in. Alorum knocked into GA. Apollo still hovering. Tuesday round the side. Will be zoned out. Lands the shot.
Down.
Live. Alorum is gone. That is everything that SolaFide needed. They still have seconds on the Baron. They can push in for the inhib now. The Crab King has fallen.
His sacrifice may have saved the game, though, because so far they are having trouble converting this into the tower. Would like to see how much longer is on the Baron buff, if at all possible, because that is really going to decide how this goes. Oh, I can't see it. Oh, they're clicking for me, but I can't see it. Never. Oh! Oh! Apollo's just down!
Raheen, a huge burst of damage! And SolaFide are just cancelled. There's nothing they can do.
Oh my god. Raheen finally has scaled all the way up. You have this Senna 105 souls.
Don't put a Senna in a 40-minute game.
No! And expect to lose.
This is real rough now with Zeus Gaming. Are able to take these fights sans Alorum, and I think they have just realized it. Not to mention Alorum is back on the map, is sitting on a TP that's going to be active real soon.
And so the thing about the new Senna build, TJ, that makes this all the more damning is that it's all about attack speed, not raw AD. But Senna gets so much from her passive anyways, that this is just a better build as you get later into the game. So Raheen is just going to decimate these fights.
And Apollo did not know that.
No,
sitting on a flash, sitting on a heal, didn't think he was even in danger. Apollo was just walking up, throwing some Qs out, poking around. Boom, he's gone.
I think with RFC, it's something like over 1,000 range at this point for Raheen. I'd have to run the numbers later, but it is just so much that I don't think Apollo was even thinking about spacing properly for that range.
I do not believe how good this game is. Drake, 50 seconds away, would be Soul for either team. Baron, a minute extra on that.
Alorum is playing really defensively. That's really good play from him.
He needs to stay alive to this Drake fight.
They've won one fight without him, but they cannot afford to have another without him.
If they can fold onto this three-man core here in the mid lane, it's possible. Alorum on the rotate will deny SolaFide that opportunity.
Oh my god.
Low.
Rhino into the middle of the fight. Finally falls. And I think that spells the end of the dragon fight unless they want to take a 4v5. They may have to.
Could. I think you poke in anyway, see if you find anything.
Yeah.
Because they have such good burst damage. Force SolaFide to start the dragon, that essentially negates the player advantage. It'll be a proper 4v4 because Dokla or one other player is going to be on the Drake. Zeus Gaming, position for it, don't follow through. Drake will be picked up. That is Ocean Soul in SolaFide's pocket. Now they need to win a fight in order to stop their turret from falling.
Raheen and Darkwings in danger on the
Winston
back of the fight. Huge onslaught there. Raheen's down. Apollo should be able to just pop through this fight one by one, but it's not even necessary. The fight ends as soon as it's begun.
Raheen is not going to be here for the Baron. 40 seconds on that. SolaFide, after 40 minutes of League of Legends, may have just gotten what they need to take this game to a Game 3, Matt. They can't send us to bed.
Sure, TJ.
They're going to
push in towards the inhibitor tower.
I haven't got any sleep. And I'm not going to anytime soon. SolaFide taking us to a Game 3, man.
But the game's keeping you awake, TJ, just like a good can of Red Bull would. So we push in towards that Baron take. That's half health here. And it looks like SolaFide will be completely uncontested. So it really is up to how Zeus Gaming can hold on as they get later into the game. How they can find creative engages, how they can stall out these waves.
What are you back here for? Sell boots? What's he sold? He's got the Essence Reaver in there now. What's he sold for that?
He already had Essence Reaver. He's not sold.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's just chilling. Don't worry about it.
Good back. I'm batting back.
Raheen's almost at 120 souls. I'm gonna be honest. I've played Senna a lot, and since we are in Trash Tier Elo, I've hit 140 souls before, and every single auto hit with the Force of God. So I think if Raheen can stall this one out, and Zeus Gaming can stall this one out, I really do think they can take these fights. Apollo is not infallible.
I think they... Okay, so I think they can now. But here are a couple things. The Ocean Soul does make it much more difficult for Alorum to find his executes because people that are low can just kind of back off and reset their HP. So it is going to be much more difficult for Alorum to find his Fear Beyond Death executes. I'm distracted here because I do not know how Darkwings has gotten all the way up here.
Quickly.
You're correct about that fact, Matt. The rest of SolaFide, after they send two players to contest, these are the two players with TPs. Is pushing it on the top side. So we have a 2v2 and a 3v3, both pushing simultaneously.
Dark Wings just gets exploded already. There comes the Shurima shuffle, and Tuesday gets the shockwave onto Rhino, but Dark Wings gets out. Very importantly. So it's not the end of the game just yet, but Dokla is chasing down and trying to make that happen. Oh, Dark Wings doesn't find it over the wall. Dokla just needs one more auto. Dark Wings delaying the inevitable.
Beautifully timed. And SolaFide are doing it. Baron in hand, 2-player advantage for the next minute, 30 seconds on Pocket Rhino. And here comes the shove.
I think SolaFide just have this. They can't defend. There's no way Zeus can defend from both lanes at once.
I mean, counterpoint, Raheen and Alorum are still up. Like, this is still scary. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. SolaFide ought to close it here.
Rhino in 5. Dokla. That was just a clone, but you can see how quickly Dokla would get melted.
RBM round the side, pushing in. Zazel, Winston at the top. Alorum down bottom, staying safe. Turret will fall. Winston still posturing. True shot out. Darkwing's 10 seconds away. Could still be a 5v5 for the game here.
Nexus Tower hanging on for dear life. This is RBM. Now, finally, Dark Wings has spawned. This is the last-ditch effort. RBM so low, hasn't gone into GA
Saved by the Dawning Shadow.
Oh, huge knockback. Winston goes into the fountain. Apollo gets 1 kill so far. Alorum still alive with the GA. Apollo follows it up with another kill. Incredibly low near the fountain, gets popped into the GA. Alorum doing the best he can. Will not be enough. Raheem 1v4 in the bottom side of the fight. And SolaFide have finally brought us to game number 3.
There is one more game in this series. I do not believe it. Zeus, take game number 1. It looks real good. Now we're right back. SolaFide have tied it up. A cup only produces bangers. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.